Hey guys, today we are here with one of my favorite cars, full stop. This is one of my favorite cars from the 90s, the R33 Nissan Skyline GT-R. I'm really excited about this one. Let's go. All right, we are in the R33 GT-R. Let's drive.
Let's drive.
Clutches up, a ways out. All right, so before we start,
you want to talk about the brakes?
I will talk about the brakes first, and then I gotta talk about something else.
We are sponsored today.
By
We're actually not
Omoshiro
sponsored.
Rental. Yeah, he has let us drive all of his fantastic cars today.
There he is actually on the
to
left
do
there.
these videos.
If you want to see what he looks like, he's wearing a pink shirt, and I was actually going to wear a pink shirt today, but it was dirty.
Let's go the way you did.
The traffic way?
Yeah.
Okay, now after interrupting you,
anyway,
what were you going to say?
Right, so the brakes. So what he's done actually is he's got a couple of the GT-Rs, then some other cars, and he's put new brakes on all of them. And he's used like kind of racing pads and stuff like that, which is really cool. But since they are fresh, they're noisy, so you might hear a little bit of the squeaking, but it's just because they're cold pads, that hasn't been driven today, and they're racy, so they're noisy.
So this is kind of a big deal, isn't it? The R33 GT-R is a car that not only is very interesting to a lot of people, but it's going to be the next big car that's importable to the USA.
Crap.
And I don't want this channel to be always talking about importing cars to the USA, but this is going to be a big car, and that's kind of a big deal.
Okay, so before we start talking about reviewing this car, full disclosure, I am an admin for the global R33 GT-R owners group.
Check them out.
I'm actually going to say vice president because the guy who runs it's not here to stop me. So I'm officially titling myself vice president now because I'm out in public. Yeah, so I have a very close relationship with these cars. I'm very biased towards them. I just think this is my favorite of the GT-Rs. I'll say that flat out. I think this one is, for the money, the best one you could get. This car was vastly improved over the R32, which is the thing that people often don't believe or don't know. This car has a distinction in the 90s of holding the Nürburgring track record for a production car for a few years. A lot of things people don't know. Faster than Lamborghinis and Ferraris and whatever. It was this, which is awesome. It did put on some weight, but it was all chassis improvements. It was stuff it needed.
Every car put on some weight at that time,
right?
Because we've got an airbag here, and the R32 didn't have the airbag, and other things like this.
Right, but where this one put on weight, it still got a lot faster. It didn't get slower, and the interior got a lot nicer. I like this a lot better than the 32 interior. There's a lot more room to it, and it seems a little bit more modern to me. And for me, it's a lot more comfortable as a bigger guy, just FYI. It can be comfortable to drive in. It's spacious, like I don't feel like you're sitting on top of me over there. You're kind of
if you
over
want
there.
Me to, then I could.
It feels like a touring car, right? Like we could go someplace at distance in this, and it would be good.
This particular car, do we know anything about the state of tune of it? It's got racing pads, it's got aftermarket wheels.
Clutch feels stock, the shifter feels stock. I don't see anything that tells me that the engine is modded. It still has 180 km/h speedometer,
right, which
is rare. Usually people swap these over to 320 km/h speedometer, so it's kind of cool to see that someone put in there. It says 45,000 kilometers on the clock. So that would be cool if that was true.
This one here is a later generation model as well. And so there are quite a... You know what, you should check out Aki's blog.
Yeah, so the godfather of GT-Rs in English, we'll say, is a guy named Aki Hirohito, and he runs a website called R33GT-R.com. And if you want information about these cars, you should find him. He's also currently, by the way, doing guest spots on Speed Hunters. So that's kind of cool. Get a little gas here. GT-R power. Ooh. So the thing I love about the RB26, and one of the reasons I like this car a lot, is you get the comfort of the 33, but you get that kind of awesome sound that the RB does, but it's a really smooth power band for a 90s car.
Right. Inline
like,
6, right?
Yeah, I mean, it loves to rev, but it's not like... In the US, I think people have built these cars up to this tier where they expect you to get in the car and just go, like, this is unbeatable, it's so fast. It doesn't feel like that. If you drive a 350Z, which I've owned, if you know, that feels faster than this stock for stock. It's got more torque to it.
I've only driven a 370Z. But the 370Z I drove, I didn't like at all, actually. And I quite like Skyline GT-Rs.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just...
I don't know your password, and I want to put in the navy. Oh, I guess you can do this when we swap.
Yeah. I'm going to go up here a little bit, turn around, and you're going to take over, and we'll get you back. I was just trying to go a different direction so you could have more driving room.
You got to say all the things that you wanted to say.
I think I've accomplished. Yeah. So, anyway, I mean, I could go on and on and on about this car. So I'm more interested in what Derek's impressions are when he drives it, because I could literally sit here and talk about these cars forever, because that's what I do in my spare time.
I'm worried about saying my impressions of the car, because this car is such a popular car, and everybody already has ideas about what they think of the car. And you know, people with, like, on the internet with cars, they're always saying, oh, you should think this way, and you're an idiot for thinking this. Right. And there's so many flame wars, and this is kind of the target car for that. Evidenced with the Supra versus the Skyline debate that goes on forever, and every time that I've tried to speak about it in a balanced way, I've always been attacked in some way or another. So
yeah, I think it's natural. I mean, all I can do sitting here talking to you guys who are watching this, which, by the way, thank you for watching this, but for you guys who are watching this, is to let you know, I mean, I've got a crap ton of experience with this, and you can go to the club to see that, and other cars, and this car is awesome, but in ways that the internet doesn't know about. And it's also not perfect. You know, there are a lot of cars for various situations that I would choose over this. And I think that's an important note to make. Actually, no, I'm going to go straight. We'll do what we did before.
Do the brum brum.
This is the bumpy part. So we're about to test the suspension. But yeah, I mean, they're just so good. They're so good driving. But they're not like, you don't get in it and you immediately think, especially if you've driven other stuff, oh my god, this car might be the fastest, most craziest thing, like, ever. You know, they're just not like that. They're nice. They're Grand Touring cars. They're nice. Do you want me to go down in the pit again?
Down in the pit sounds awesome.
I'm not going down in that.
Did I just scare you out of that?
No, that's where we were before, where, like...
where we got lost.
Yeah. There's another car, one of our car review videos, we'll see if you guys can figure out which one. We went on a little excursion that got us kind of stuck. And
Paul, my turn.
Yep.
My
As
turn
soon as I
to
get on the
drive.
bridge.
There's the road that we were on.
Yeah, it's there. Oh god.
We're in a city we don't know about, so...
It's just so good to drive these cars. The brake squeak. Alright. Crap. I didn't even look in there.
You don't need to look in the mirror when you're driving a fast car, Paul.
Yeah. I was gonna watch out for traffic when I pulled over up here.
Ah, thanks.
But there's a spot there.
Make sure you don't pull over on a blind corner.
Yeah. It's a GT-R. You can shoot out in the traffic, no problem.
Are you making fun of me?
No. So wait.
It's four-wheel drive, so you can even accelerate faster than...
It's sort of four-wheel drive. Do
you want to talk about that when I'm driving?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that when you're driving, and if you run out of stuff to say. Either that, or we're going to have to make a special GT-R
I haven't decided what I'm going to say yet.
Because
I've got a lot of things that I've said about this car in the past, but usually it's on email, and I got a chance to type it without going off of the, you know, stepping out on a branch and falling off.
Yeah, because that's one of the most misunderstood things about this car, right? Is the all-wheel drive system. People think they know what it is, and they don't. There used to be a place to pull in right here. There was buildings. Yeah,
yes, there is.
Sweet. I'll put you right here.
Oh, I did something illegal.
You did?
No, I took my seatbelt off and we were still driving.
Oh. Oh, good job.
I'm going in front of the car this time, Paul.
Okay.
Go in front.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just naturally go that way because that's the safe way. Or that's what I've always felt
Just
like.
the seat.
I don't know.
So first things first, the Skylines, the 33, 32, 34, all of them, they don't have a ratcheting seat. I mean, they kind of do, but it's only got 3 positions, and so they're not all suitable. But instead, it's got this little dial on the side, kind of old car style. But that's actually a better system because you can set your driving position with that, and then if you push the seat forward, then you don't have to reset it to the exact spot every time.
Right.
It's ingenious, and more people should be doing that. Seat's still not in the proper position. Mr. Loglegs
Okay, this
here.
is awesome. We basically go the way I came, so just go down the road, and then we can either go straight.
Go straight.
Screw it.
Through the tunnel. This looks like a racing game, actually. This is the tunnel section. Okay, so the way I feel about the Skyline, this is my first time driving an R33, but I've driven a lot of 32s and a handful of 34s.
It wants you to U-turn down here just so you... No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I get it. We're going back across the bridge.
Yay!
But the access is down here on the right. I can't figure out how you get up onto it.
You can get up there.
Yeah, we want to go on the other side. So I think we're going to U-turn right here where these signs are.
Okay.
Possibly? Can you?
So you turn where the signs are.
No, it doesn't let you. Okay, hold on, give it a second. We may have to U-turn here.
We're not talking about the car very much now, are we?
No, actually, just go straight.
Okay.
And you can talk.
Excuse me. Okay, this one feels a lot like the other two. The R34 feels softer to me. I don't know if that's the way that everybody feels about it, but the car feels more refined, softer, and less kind of edgy than the 32 and the 33. Having only driven this for about 2 minutes, I can already tell that. The steering feels very similar to the R32. It's heavy steering compared to most cars, but people who drive BMWs will probably be used to that. And in a car like this, which is a Grand Tourer more than it is a sports car, will I get flamed for that?
No, because it is. And I mean, when people argue that it's not, it's silly.
A very sporty
it was
car,
designed
but
to be a Grand Tourer.
Right.
So I keep saying that's what it is.
I can't remember what I was saying there.
Just about compared to the 34, it feels more mechanical.
Oh, I guess so. I don't have an awful lot of experience with them, more so with the other two than I do with this one. But the way that I feel when I get into this car or the other ones is the car feels very, very comfortable. And this is something that is unique to each person. For me, I grew up driving a lot of cars from the 70s and 80s. And so that 70s and 80s awesomeness that I feel is kind of like a nostalgic thing. You look like you're going to tell me something.
Yeah, we're going left. Next one.
The car sounds so nice. Here?
Yeah. I love that I told you we were going left, then you sped up.
Can we go here?
I don't know. That's what it said.
Don't hit the curb. Yes! This is funny. You get out of Tokyo and you have all these roads that haven't been maintained in 50 years.
Right. We'll go down here and go right. Not right here. You have to get around him first.
Get around him and then go
Yeah.
right. Okay. Make sure that we don't hit anybody in the rental car. For example, the seating position feels good. The steering feels good.
Oh no, there's no right. What is he talking about?
Maybe
I guess we're going left.
Here?
Yeah, apparently there was.
I don't know if we'll bottom out going into that. We might.
No, we'll just turn around. You turn it. Screw it. Another 10-minute / 20-minute / 45-minute long test drive.
You guys are going to get an extra video here. This is somebody's driveway.
This is driveway.
Hey guys.
Thanks, Google. Nice try.
Yeah. I got road there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at that. R33 can maneuver around rice fields.
It's got a tighter turning circle than both of my daily drivers.
Yeah, it's actually quite decent, right?
For a four-wheel drive car. Speaking of which, Paul, do you want to talk about four-wheel drive?
Yeah, I'm going to try and get you to the main
Should I go
road
straight?
here. Yeah, go straight and then hang up. Left,
Okay, I'll
apparently.
talk about it. So, this car has a funny setup, and for people who know about this, you might want to tune out or whatever, because it might be a little bit annoying and technical. But the way it works is the car is set up as a rear-wheel drive car with a longitudinal engine running the rear wheels all of the time, except for when the car thinks it's losing traction. And when the car thinks it's losing traction, it sends power to the front wheels. And you got a nice little gauge on the dashboard here that shows you how much... Actually, you don't on the R33.
That's here.
Oh, weird. It's right where the camera strap is. So you get a nice little gauge that shows you how much percentage of your power is going to the front as opposed to the rear.
We need to go this way.
So turn around.
Yeah, somewhere.
Okay. I can do that. Somebody's behind us. Check the rear view mirror and swerve into oncoming traffic. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we can cut this video before we get back if we have to. But anyway.
Look at that spoiler on the Civic in front of us.
Alright, so the rear-wheel drive system, I'll just put it this way. We'll make it simple for people. If when you hear that a Skyline GT-R is all-wheel drive, and in your head you picture that it drives like an Audi or a Subaru or a Mitsubishi Evo, you are dead wrong. It doesn't drive anything like those cars do, and the all-wheel drive system doesn't work like those cars do. In fact, in these older ones, the 32 and the 33, one of the problems they had with the car is the mechanical bits that work the four-wheel steering and the drive system, the Attesta and all that stuff, were quick. But the computer chips at the time were so slow that they couldn't process the information fast enough for it to be effective.
We're going back this way, or we're going that way?
Now we can go this way.
Oh, now we can't go that way. Unless we do the illegal maneuvers.
Or we can go left and go all the way around.
It's 16 minutes now, Paul.
Yeah, I know. We can go left and go all the way around. We're going to cut out this intersection. This is stupid.
Excuse me. So go left here?
Yeah, we can do that.
Da, 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 da. What does the navi say is how long we're going to take to get back?
It's 2 minutes slower.
Yeah, but in total?
At this point, like
16 minutes?
16 minutes. Well, that way with the heavy traffic.
Holy shit.
We just went too far down this road.
Alright.
But we should have turned around instead of kept looking for a place to curve.
Place to turn around.
Yeah. We're in Saitama. Holy crap, we're in Venezuela.
Wow, we are actually crossing the border into the neighboring province.
Prefecture, yeah. That's
Prefecture.
crazy.
Sorry.
This isn't Canada.
Canadians coming through. Do any other countries use provinces?
China? Doesn't it?
I think so. But isn't that weird how it, like...
That could have made me look incredibly stupid. I hope I'm right about that, or else it's going to sound dumb. I think they use provinces.
I don't know. I mean, unless you've actually been to China, it's not one of those things that a lot of people know about.
I don't know. Like an idiot savant or something. So anyway, all-wheel drive system. The computer chips were so slow that it was like really ineffective. When you drive a factory one of these, the adjustments come way too late. So once you've started to counter steer, go down here and turn left. Go down here and turn left. The front wheels kick in after you've already made an adjustment and will sometimes mess you up.
Really?
Like, it's one of the things that when people drive these on the limit, they have a problem with. In fact, if you ask a bunch of Hosties who are into GTRs, they will tell you, it's the thing they complain about. The UK will complain about. GTR owners, 32s and 33 owners specifically will tell you that a lot of times when people get money to make a jump from kind of lower end sports cars to a GTR, they jump into a GTR and they wrap them around poles or trees because they do tank slappers. They overcorrect when they have a problem and they flip the car around because they're not used to driving the way these things have to be driven. Thankfully, there are people like Tarzan Yamada and Duluck, is a big tuning company, that make upgrades for these chips, and it turns this all-wheel drive system into a much more modern feeling all-wheel drive system. But they still don't have that kind of understeer and, you know, like fixing system that like Evos and Subarus kind of feel like they have. Especially in Evo,
does
it feels way different than
Subaru use
Evo.
any torque vectoring for any of their generations?
I don't know if they're
I know
newer
they did it
ones
for the
do.
GC and the GD. But the Evo's got them, and the Evo 4 had the torque vectoring, which they called the AYC.
Right.
And if you were ever wondering why only the Lancers were able to do the AYC tuning in Gran Turismo, that's why.
The only car that has it.
You know, playing Gran Turismo 2, right? You could do the AYC tuning in that, and then you could never, it was never highlighted for you to be able to do that. Yeah, as far as the suspension goes, it feels very good. They're double wishbones all the way around, which was a popular thing for Japanese manufacturers to do. Like Honda did it with the EG, and Toyota did it with all of their big sedans.
No, sorry, at the light.
At the light. This is going to become, in fact, we can retitle this series into Derek and Paul Get Lost in Chiba.
It's what it's become near this shop. So, yeah, here. I don't know why it wants us to go here. I don't trust Google anymore. At the end of that road, we're taking it right. At the cop car, is that a cop car?
No, it's a taxi.
Oh.
The power delivery takes a while to kick in, like many 90s turbo cars do, even though it's a twin turbo.
It's funny about these cars because the RB, this is another thing that people don't realize, is that when you compare it to a Supra or some of the other stuff, it's maybe a little bit the displacement, the design. The car loves to rev, but it is laggier than a lot of other vehicles.
The only 2Js I've ever driven were in Aristos. I wonder if people are going to make fun of me for calling it Aristo.
I don't know.
Pardon me, I'm speaking like a Japanese person would. In a Canadian accent, which probably makes it even worse. You know what's funny? We got...
Oh my god, it's one of those. Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Okay, if anybody in the comment section knows what the heck these are and why they have them...
We live in Japan, please tell us. These things are ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, you're fine. That one's not as bad as some of them.
An actually wide car?
Oh, we're up to the sleeping cop.
Oh.
We have to go left up here anyway. So, that sign's nice.
30-minute video. We're going to run out of memory card space.
We can stop it.
Go left here?
That's what it says.
That guy's like, no, you may not come. Oh.
She's waiting for you.
Thank you. Uh-oh, this one looks tighter than the last one.
Mm-hmm. We're okay here. Okay.
You see all the scrapes on the sides there?
Yeah. They probably will see it with the GoPro. So. Alright. So do we want to... Any last thoughts before we shut it down?
Shoo! It's got a lot of power after 4,000 RPM.
It's laggy.
It feels really good. But, so, like, if you were going to be driving this quickly, you could just pick your gears that allow that to happen. But it's not going to feel peppy like I think the way that modern cars feel like.
I will say this. In the future, we may be driving one of these that's slightly modded and has a 6-speed swap in it. And
is this foreshadowing?
It's possible. And
so subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button.
Right.
Make a comment.
The 6-speed.
Wow, we're all right back here.
I didn't realize this is what I was doing. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. So the 6-speed swap in these cars makes them come alive.
When you say 6-speed swap, you're talking about just swapping over for the standard R33 transmission.
Yeah, just the regular 34 transmission.
Okay. Yes! It's fast, but it doesn't have that holy shit kind of feeling.
Yeah. Are we cursing on this channel?
No. No. Wait, let me redo that. It's fast, but it doesn't have that holy poop feeling.
The holy poopy! Right, it doesn't. It doesn't. And anyone, if you have experience driving any kind of, like, sports cars, really, this would probably scare my mother.
The thing is, for me, this much power is pretty much perfect because I don't want to have a super high power car because I don't like that. I like cars that are more responsive and more this and that, and this car feels so comfortable for me, like I said at the beginning here. And so if I were looking for a car, this would be very suitable for me. And I think that's why, part of why it's had such a lasting appeal, because one, it modifies well if you want the extra power, but it's just such a good overall package. And here's one problem that I have with cars nowadays compared to cars in the 90s is up until kind of the mid to late 90s, Japanese cars, their thing was to try to prove how good of a car that you could make. But nowadays, they know how to make a good car, but they also know that making that car costs more money. And this is the same for all manufacturers, not only Japanese ones, but they figured out what things people want and what things people don't want. And so they don't give you things like double wishbone suspension because most buyers won't even know the difference. And so it's kind of, we're at the point where we're at a place in car lovers' history, I guess, where we've got some of the best cars ever, most powerful, best handling cars, but your average everyday cars are becoming worse and worse. So I think that we're seeing a divide. You used to be able to pick up like an EG6 Civic and turn it into a screaming car, like a good track car, but nowadays your regular Econo box, like a Fit would be the equivalent. There's no way something like that could happen.
I'm trying to decide if I should go up there. No, don't go there. Yeah, I mean, this is why this is my favorite generation of the R33 GT-R. It's just as much. It's just enough mechanical old, but just enough new. Like for me personally, that it's perfect. You got space in it. You can ride comfortably in it. It's got tons of power. It's got tons of tuning potential. It doesn't have all the electronics and the softness that to me the R34 has until it's tuned. You know, we're talking about factory ones. R34s obviously are nuts once they're built, but and this is my favorite car of styling. We're going right here.
I think it's also good to mention that the price for this car compared to the R34, that is everybody's favorite car,
is
way different. And so you're in a completely different league in terms of prices. Whereas the R34 right now is competing against used C6 Corvettes.
Man, C6 Corvette. Yeah, no, that's true. That's
in terms of prices only.
Correct.
Of course.
That's probably right. $40,000-$50,000. Well, for a Z06, I mean, regular C6 Corvettes are down in the 20s in the U.S.
Is it?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about a $40,000 to $50,000 car, roughly for an average R34 GT-R at the moment. Take a right.
All right. And then the R33, when these become importable into the USA, they're going to be much more expensive. They're going to skyrocket in price the same way that the R32 did. But until that happens, like right now, the price for these is climbing slowly, but you're somewhere out around $20,000.
I'll say this. For my guys in the U.S., from my U.S. brothers.
I'm Canada brother, so we already went through the R33 import.
From our U.S. guys, I will say this. If you're watching home from the U.S., I'm telling you that once this car shows up more in the U.S., it'll become more appreciated in the U.S. When you start seeing these more often, I think that more people are going to decide that they like this car better than the other ones just based on pictures and videos from the internet. When you start seeing these on the road, to me, this is the best looking one of the three main GT-Rs going down the street. I think this car looks the best driving. And I think a lot of people are going to change their mind when they get to have real first-hand experience seeing and driving in these cars. So, anyway. Do we want to finish there?
Yeah, I'm getting worse now.
Okay.
We can cut that part out and we can then just say the end. Alright guys, so we've been driving now for just about 30 minutes and we did chop this one up a little bit. The idea is not to chop up these videos, but we're in a city that we don't know, with roads we don't know, and we have been getting lost more frequently than we would like to. And so we're going to end this video here, and hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you enjoyed the R33 GT-R, because this is a pretty awesome car.
Great. Thanks guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
See you. Goodness gracious.
I'm fading.